Malaysia has been fully hit by the Omicron variant. Father-son duo arrested for wedding scam, and Moroccan Ryan Oram drew his last breath. Those are the headlines for tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Muhammad Yusuf, and you're now watching TVS Nightline. The imminent Omicron variant wave has finally hit Malaysia, as confirmed by the Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin via his Twitter account. Such rapid rise in the number of infections will inevitably lead to more than 15,000 cases in a short amount of time. His statement was a response to Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, who shared an image regarding the susceptible, exposed, infectious and removed SEIR daily COVID-19 infections and the projections of cases from August 31, 2021 to March 31, 2022. In a different posting, Khairi also urged members of the public to get themselves inoculated with the booster dose to decrease the severity of infection. Malaysia now accumulated a total of 2,914,220 COVID-19 cases following today's over 10,000 positive cases. Now, today marks the new unwanted beginning of another surge of COVID-19 infections in Malaysia, where daily cases recorded more than the 10,000 mark. This was revealed by the Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah. The most recent 10,000 mark recorded in Malaysia took place in October 2 of last year. 99.24% of the infections today were classified into Category 1 and 2, while 0.76% were categorized in Category 3, 4 and 5. He further revealed that Selangor recorded the highest number of infections at a staggering 2,549 cases, followed by Johor 1,582, Sabah with 1,285 cases, Kedah 904, and Pahang closing the top 5 most infected states in Malaysia by COVID-19 with 624 cases. This was then followed by Penang 542, Kuala Lumpur 491, Kelantan 471, Negeri Sembilan 464, Melaka 457, Perak 321, and Terengganu with 213 cases. Federal territories and states such as Putrajaya, Sarawak, Perlis and Labuan recorded below the 100 mark with 61, 58, 44 and 23 positive cases respectively. Now, the Omicron variant is now the most prevalent variant in Sarawak. Detection rate of the variant in Sarawak stands at 78%, discovered from surveillance data of positive cases conducted from January 3 to January 26, 2022. The data was the latest report submitted by the Director of University Malaysia Sarawak UNIMAS Institute of Health and Community Medicine IHCM, Professor Dr. David Pereira, to the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee SDMC Chairman Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Ambas. 45 out of 58 samples sequenced during the said period were Omicron cases, while the remainder are Delta cases. Pereira disclosed that the Omicron samples were taken from districts such as Kuching, Samarahan, Sibu, Kapit, Muka and Miri. To prevent severe infection, Pereira said a booster shot is necessary to boost the declining antibody levels from the 2-dose vaccine regime. But what is more important, he stated, was to continue abiding to the stipulated SOPs and to avoid any social gatherings to hinder the spread of the Omicron variant. The landslide victory of Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS in the 12th state election is a testament of the people's confidence in the state government under the leadership of Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng. According to Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Douglas Uga Ambas, GPS was able to convey its message to elect a Chief Minister who could lead to the state to greater stability, harmony, progress and prosperity. Adding to that, he said the confidence was expressed by the people of Sarawak, who are multiracial and of various religions. Uga said this at an appreciation reception for Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB Bakong, Ubar and Rimbas Ili branches for their hard work in securing GPS's win in the Saribas constituency at the Spau Community Hall on Saturday. Meanwhile, he said among GPS's top priorities was how to help rural folks generate stable income from their land. In addition, internet facilities are crucial in the people's lives, both in terms of education and business. On another issue, Uga said the state's agriculture sector needs to shift from the traditional to modern agriculture as one of the efforts towards a developed state by 2030. In a similar development, GPS's landslide win in the 12th state election was partly attributed to the Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB Women Supreme Council. PBB Women Chief Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah said PBB Women Wing plays a vital role in ensuring that all promises made in the GPS manifesto are fulfilled. Therefore, she said the effort should be continued to ensure that the success of GPS can be maintained in the future.
That's because we have worked hard and banyak sebab lain. One of the contributing factor is we have worked hard. Sebelum pilihan raya, semasa pilihan raya dan sebelum mengundi. Jadi ini pecutan terakhir dan saya ingin ucapkan tahniah atas kerja keras sebab kerja ini memerlukan meticulous work, diligent work dan saya tahu bahawa wanita, kemahiran dan kekuatan wanita adalah dalam bidang ini.
She said so during the appreciation dinner ceremony for PBB Women's Supreme Council. Fatima added that GPS is a party that fulfills its responsibility. Therefore, in order to successfully achieve the efforts, the support and assistance of PBB is crucial. On to the next news. The Sarawak Teachers Union, STU, have expressed major concern over the recent announcement made by the Ministry of Education, MOE, where students of boarding schools who are not sitting for any public examination should not return to their hostels. The concern mainly stems from their academic performance, as the home-based teaching and learning PDPR are considered ineffective to certain students, which will lead to them dropping out of the academic system. To prevent infections, the chairman of Sarawak Teachers Union, STU, Adam Prakash, urges parents to work closely with teachers to care for the students' safety and health.
Satu langkah yang boleh kita cadangkan sebelum anak-anak ini kembali ke sekolah ialah dengan mengadakan ujian RTK dengan sendiri di rumah untuk memastikan sekurang-kurangnya di peringkat awal anak-anak ini semuanya bebas daripada sebarang gejala ataupun tanda-tanda COVID-19. Dan dengan itu, sekiranya anak-anak ini tidak ada apa-apa tanda, maka mereka bolehlah diambil kira untuk kembali ke sekolah dan meneruskan pembelajaran mereka. Sekiranya semua pihak bekerjasama mengambil tanggungjawab, pihak guru, pihak pelajar, pihak ibu bapa, memastikan SOP ini dipatuhi, memastikan gaya hidup itu sentiasa dijaga, sekolah boleh dibuka dan keadaan boleh dikawal.
STU hopes the relevant authorities will assess the situation whilst providing an effective measure that would allow students to return back to school. Good news. Pesta Babulang, which is celebrated by the Bisaya community and known for its buffalo race, may make a comeback this year after a 2-year hiatus. The Sarawak Bisaya Association President Joseph Blandoy said, however, the staging of the festival will be subjected to the latest COVID-19 pandemic situation. In a recent meeting, the association's Supreme Council had outlined the festival and race as among the main events in its calendar this year. According to Joseph, since the pandemic hit 2 years ago, many activities had either been shelved or put on the back burner, including its 50th anniversary celebration last year. Adding that several events this year will be held either physically or virtually or in a hybrid manner. However, Joseph added premier events such as the Buffalo Race, Cultural Night, and the Panakot Babulang receiving of the Guest of Honor would be carried out from June 3 to 5. Joseph said among other activities which have been lined up are the opening of the association building, a development seminar or workshop, Rakit Babulang, rafting, Babulang charity golf, fun run, and the annual appreciation dinner. Pesta Babulang is a harvest festival celebrated by the Bisaya community in Limbang, and it showcases traditional costumes, cultural performances, exotic native food, and other unique activities. Now, after 2 years of absence due to COVID-19, Kuching North City Council, or DBKU, once again kick-started the Kuching Car-Free Morning with a welcoming response as close to 1,000 participants took part in the highly popular program. In addition to promoting healthy and green lifestyle, the program is aimed at fostering relationships between family and friends.
Alhamdulillah lah, kerana program tu jarang baru first time lah kami ikut. Sebelum tu tak dengar ajak lah di Facebook. Kami rasa happy lah dapat meluang masa dengan biak, dapat ngeluar peluh juga. Kami pun dapat ngeluar peluh, biak pun dapat ngeluar peluh. Pasal kira saya dah gadget lah gitu tu, just main aja free macam tu ya.
Jadi kalau mengikut pagi ini kita lihat ramai yang turun ke Padang ya, melakukan antara aktiviti sihat ya di Kuching ya. Jadi saya harap supaya aktiviti ini dapat dilaksanakan ya, setiap bulan kerana ia akan membantu untuk kita meramaikan menambahkan keharmonian antara semualah rakyat di Kuching, terutamanya di Kuching ya.
Kat situ rasanya memang meriah sebab jalan dah banyak ditutup, orang pun boleh jalan dengan bebasnya lah. Kami orang pun datang stok untuk memeriahkan suasana stok lah.
Bagi pendapat kami acara tu bagus, tapi cuma bagi pendapat kami perlu dipanjangkan lagi perjalanan ya itulah musim waterfront ke apa ini supaya kita perjalanan kita berbasikal tu jauh sikit. Bagi sidak jogging bolehlah dalam terdekat ngembak nembiak Padang Merdeka tu, tapi mun makai basikal tu jauh sikit buat jalannya ada naik sikit.
According to DBKU, this program is planned to be held in the first week of each month, and its implementation depends on the current situation of COVID-19.
TVS membawakan anda drama romantis dari negara jiran. Sebuah kemalangan yang tidak dijangka menemukan Prilly dan Aliando.
Kamu? Saya nggak mau tahu, kamu harus tanggung jawab.
Namun, Prilly merupakan seorang gadis yang kasar dan ini telah menyebabkan Aliando berasa kurang senang dengannya.
Sabar. Kamu yang benar dong. Saya cari jalannya kayak gini.
Pelbagai konflik yang berlaku dan merumitkan kehidupan mereka berdua.
Enggak. Kini ku sendiri.
Kamu ngapain sih? Really?
Apakah pertemuan mereka ketentuan takdir atau sekadar kebetulan? Jangan lupa untuk menyaksikan Randy Pangalela dan Anggika Bostelri dalam Love is Pink. Setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat 4.15 petang di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Every day has a story to tell. But how well you tell a story is a different story. Let's join Yasu and B to explore the craft of story. You will learn how to structure and craft your idea to create a story to communicate with your audience. You will see a lot of beauty in the craft.
Jom bersama saya Khairul Nizam Naha mengembara dan meneroka keindahan alam di bumi Kenyalak.
Mengambil masa 1 jam 30 minit di
pen dengan kita orang full fitness.
Panjang jalan tu ada ni kiri-kiri pasal baru tu.
Setiap Isnin jam 10.30 malam hanya di saluran 122 Astro dan My TV. Jom ninjau.
Welcome back to TVS Nightline. Now, a father and his son were arrested by the police following a police report of the two being involved in a wedding package scam. The case was reported by a 24-year-old woman who paid a deposit of 7,265 ringgit for the supposed wedding planning service, but was never delivered. The Chief of Kuala Lumpur Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID, ACP Muhammad Mahidisham Ishaq, said the two men, aged 57 and 25 years old respectively, were arrested in Klang Valley following a raid on February 5. The victim made an engagement with the duo as she was interested in the wedding packages offered, which includes hall, catering, wedding dress, and photographer. She made the report on January 3, 2022. Muhammad disclosed that the two men are now remanded for 4 days to assist investigations, which falls under Section 420 of the Penal Code for fraud. He is also on the opinion that there are more individuals who fell victim to the duo scam and asked them to come forward to lodge a police report. Members of the public are advised not to trade services or products if they are not capable of delivering the demands, and not to use COVID-19 restrictions as an excuse in fulfilling customers' requests. Now, the government has given the green light to import whole chicken and eggs from other countries as temporary measures to overcome the supply shortage of the two food items. Federal Agriculture Marketing Authority, or FAMA, Chairman Dato Muhammad Fasiah Muhammad Fakih said the government will stop the import once the supply of chicken and eggs stabilizes. At the same time, he hoped traders will not increase the price of the two food items and comply with the set retail prices.
Kerajaan telah mengambil tindakan yang sewajarnya, dan hari itu Menteri Datuk Ronald Kindi itu pun telah ambil tindakan yang mana telah mengimport buat sementara inilah. Jadi jangan bimbang kepada pengusaha-pengusaha di Malaysia ini kerana import sementara. Apabila besok keadaan pengeluaran ayam dan telur ni dah meningkat balik, kita akan stop lah. InsyaAllah ini akan berlaku, dan saya mengharapkan kepada pengusaha-pengusaha ayam yang ada telur tu, dengan harapkan janganlah menaikkan harga. Ikutlah pasaran biasa.
Last week, the government announced the maximum retail price for chicken at RM8.90 for 4 months until June 5th, while egg prices for all grades remain the same as the controlled price under the Malaysian Family Maximum Price Scheme. Now, the chicken-egg shortage issue plaguing the market not only burden consumers but also affects retailers' operation. TVS's survey found that all supermarkets in Miri are currently facing the same issue. As such, a new policy had to be implemented, which limits a customer to purchase only a single egg tray. Vaviq Solution Mart owner Monica Usunbalan said to avoid panic buying, her shop had to implement such policy.
Sekarang kan sebab telur kekurangan di Miri, jadi tak cukup supply lah dengan customer. Satu orang limit satu tray macam tu lah. Kadang-kadang ada juga customer yang tidak puas hati sebab dia orang tak dapat ambil 10 set, 20 set macam tu. Sebab saya pun tidak cukup kan, jadi saya mau bagi-bagilah sebab semua orang mau perlu telur. Jadi saya mau limit lah bagi biar semua orang dapat macam tu. Pun tidak cukup. 100 tray tu dalam berapa jam saja terus habis. 200 tray pun terus habis dalam berapa jam. Memang tidak cukup. Kalau dekat saya sini, dalam satu minggu ada 2 kali lah. Isnin memang ada, sama Jumaat memang ada. Setiap hari Isnin dengan Jumaat lah macam tu. Berapa jam saja habis. Memang tidak cukup untuk orang di Miri sekarang tak ada telur kan. Memang tidak cukup lah tu. Supplier pun bagi kami orang limit bah. Dia tidak bagi kami orang banyak. Paling pun 200 tray macam itulah paling banyak lah itu.
Meanwhile, Everrise Miri store manager Kennedy Tan said the supermarket also practices the same policy so that everyone can buy chicken eggs. He said the high demand for chicken eggs in Miri had caused the item to be sold out quickly.
The egg supply during normal times is regular, and we do have ample stock of chicken eggs at our outlets. But as the time approached Chinese New Year, we start to experience some shortage in terms of eggs deliveries from our suppliers. And the situation got worse as the Chinese New Year enters. For example, in the month of January, we experienced some shortage of chicken eggs from the suppliers. We normally order them on a weekly basis, and during normal times, we do get them once a week into our outlet. We basically order about 200 per week, or sometimes 300, depends on the situation and how much we need. During the festive season, like month of January, we control the sales of the eggs by limiting the number of trays or number of eggs that customer can buy. We basically limit to 1 or 2 trays per customer. Yeah.
And the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries, or MAFI, has issued a warning to all levels in the distribution chain not to manipulate the prices of chickens and eggs to the point that it could burden the consumers. Deputy Minister Dr. Nik Muhammad Zawawi Nik Saleh said the government would take stern action if any of them tried to take advantage by charging higher than the price allowed by the government. Nik Muhammad Zawawi was responding to complaints from the public that there were some suppliers and wholesalers who tried to increase the price of the raw materials. Adding to that, he said that the government has short and long-term plans to solve this problem, including approving licenses to import chicken and eggs from abroad to stabilize the price in the local market so as not to burden consumers. On to the next news. Pilgrims affected by the month-long temporary postponement of the Umrah travel imposed since January 8th need not to worry, as the government will pay up to 60% of the losses incurred. A checklist for those affected by the postponement has been prepared by the relevant ministries and agencies to ensure smooth reimbursement. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dato Ahmad Marzuk Shari, said the checklist was approved by the Pilgrims Fund Board (TH) and the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture (MOTAC). Ahmad Marzuk, who is the Pangkalan Cepa Member of Parliament, said the payment would be disbursed by TH directly to the pilgrims concerned, and affected pilgrims will be required to go to the nearest TH branch office and present relevant documents such as their MyCard, visa, and also the details of their Umrah package. Meanwhile, for those leaving for the Umrah pilgrimage this Tuesday, February 8, he advised them to comply with the stipulated standard operating procedures (SOPs), including on the wearing of face mask.
Hai, saksikan saya Azwan Kombos bersama dengan Tony Yusof dalam rancangan Tony Lapar, eksklusif di TVS di saluran 122 Astro dan juga MyTV.
Welcome back to TVS Nightline. Now, onto some global updates. The race to save a 5-year-old boy who fell 32 meters down a well in Morocco ended in tragedy when he was found dead. Rescue workers on Saturday extracted the child's body, who had been trapped since Tuesday, February 1st. Many had hoped that the child, Ryan Oram, would manage to survive the last 5 days despite cold temperatures. He had fallen down a narrow 32-meter deep well in the village of Iran in the country's Chefchaouen province on Tuesday. The multi-day rescue effort had brought international focus. The bid to free the boy had gripped the country, with hundreds of people gathered at the well and thousands more following online. On social media, people using the hashtag Save Ryan, which had been trending across the country and beyond, expressing their jubilation. But this turned to heartbreak minutes later when the statement came announcing that Ryan had passed away. The same hashtag was then used on social media to pay tribute to Ryan's passing. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has expressed his condolences to the family. Ismail Sabri, through a post on his Facebook account, said it was absolutely heartbreaking to learn about Ryan's tragic death that has been confirmed by Morocco's royal court. 16 people had died in central Mexico following an apparent violent dispute between criminal gangs. Authorities said on Saturday, February 5, the state grapples with a spike of violence. State Prosecutor Francisco Murillo said 10 bodies were found wrapped in blankets in the streets of the Fresnillo municipality, while another 6 were suspended inside a warehouse in the nearby community Panfilo Natera.
El hallazgo en 2 calles diferentes de, al parecer, cuerpos de personas. Están todavía servicios periciales trabajando en el lugar de los hechos. Se han trasladado ya algunos indicios a la Casa de Justicia del municipio de Fresnillo y al parecer son cuerpos que están encobijados, están enredados en cobijas.
He added 2 people who were transporting another corpse a day earlier have been arrested and that the person could be linked to others who were killed. Last month, authorities found the bodies of 10 people abandoned inside a vehicle in the historic center of the state capital, a few steps from the government offices. Homicides have spiked last year, where the state of Zacatecas registered a total of 1,050 deaths, recording about 200 more cases than the year 2020. Queen Elizabeth has expressed her sincere wish that the Duchess of Cornwall becomes Queen Consort when Prince Charles becomes king. In a candid message marking the 70th anniversary of her accession, the monarch made clear of her desire, unambiguously paving the way for Queen Camilla. When the Duchess married the Prince of Wales in 2005, it was made clear by Clarence House that she would carry the title of His Royal Highness HRH the Princess Consort. It has long been speculated that this was a title of convenience at a time when the Duchess was seen to be less popular in the polls due to her relationship with Prince Charles when he was married to Diana, Princess of Wales. Charles is understood to have long harbored a firm desire that his wife should carry the title of Queen Consort and thus be crowned and anointed when he becomes king. The Queen made clear that she supported this in a written message released on Saturday before Sunday's accession day. In it, the Queen thanked the nation for the loyalty and affection she had received over her long reign. And that's all the time we have for tonight's TVS Nightline. For more news, you can follow us on our social media at TVSTVMY on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. My name is Muhammad Yusuf. Good night and stay safe.